Recording in progress. Look at all you fresh faces. Hi, Krista. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Francine. Oh, Francine, hi. I'm so glad you're here. I know I can't hear you because you're muted, but it's really nice to see you. Kendra, looking good. Looking real good. I loved your post today. You're like, I'm doing it, Jamil. Boom, boom, boom. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. So we'll wait a few minutes, maybe another 30 seconds for people to hop on. But who was on the last training? Just put a 1 in the chat. I got to open my chat so I could see what people are saying. I love the quote that, I love that quote at the beginning. Optavia is a personal development company disguised as a health company. Boy, if that is not the truth. So full disclosure, when I started, I could barely get on the phone with my own coach. And now I'm training in a public forum. It's bananas. So let's get started. We have a lot to cover tonight, and I'm Molly Petersen. For those of you who may not know me, but I know everybody here. But I'm Molly Petersen. I started the program in March of 2020, and I started coaching April 17th of 2020, about a month in. And like many of you, the program had such a transformative effect on my entire being that I had to share it with others. I mean, it really did. Like all of you, otherwise you wouldn't be coaches. So yes, it is true. Optavia is a personal development company disguised as a health company. Amen. I'm going to share my screen, and tonight's topic is something we have all experienced and need help with: overcoming objections and the 5 major smoke screens. Okay. Now I remember when I first got on the phone with my own coach, I was one of the 2% that was going to say yes, regardless of what she was telling me. If she told me I was going to live in a trash can and eat garbage, I would have done it. But that's really only 2% of the people that we do health assessments on. So many people have objections, and I'm going to train you and give you actual verbiage of what to say to help overcome some of these objections and smoke. So feel free to take screenshots, because there's a verbiage there that you are going to want to use and incorporate into your health assessments. Okay, the top 5 major smoke screens. Cost, that's number 1. I come across cost, I don't know, 75% of my health assessments. Some people don't even ask, but many people do. How much does it cost? The second is the fuelings. The third is support. The 4th is time, and the 5th is other programs. Now we're going to do a deep dive into each one of these, so be ready with your phones. Click, click, click. Okay. And also, if you have any suggestions that you use that I haven't covered, please add them to the chat, because the more information that we have moving forward, the better. Okay, so truly, objections are really concepts that we just don't know. Coming into this program, I did not have any concepts, but I know a lot of people do. And our goal is to help shift this perspective. We really want to advocate for people when they are, when we're on the phone with them, they are sharing their heart, they are sharing their soul, and we are their advocate. They don't know what they don't know. They don't know what's possible. We do. So during the health assessment, we're always looking for clues, and we're dripping keywords that can relate to any objections that may occur. Now, the two, I think, in my opinion, the most important questions on the health assessment are the, what do you want to accomplish, and why do you want to accomplish that? What and why. And if you can get laser focused, on their why and showing them what life is going to look like on the other side of this pain and on the other side of this weight, most common objections aren't even going to matter. Okay, cost. Cost is the big one. Okay. Now, during the health assessment, I really like to look for clues about how much they spend on a daily basis. There's a question, I have my health assessment in front of me here, and there's a question on the back that I don't know if people skip it or feel like maybe it doesn't matter as much. But when we're talking about food, we're asking them about their food life. We're trying to get clues about how often do they eat out? What are you eating for dinner? Are you eating steak every night? I mean, really try to get clues about what their food life looks like. And when they start sharing about their food, their snacks, their coffee, their dining out, I'm adding this up in my head or I'm writing it down on the paper. One thing I also do in my 90-second story is I always share about my obsession with Taco Bell and wine, because that paid for my program. And when we're talking about cost in the end, I always circle back to that. Like, I mean, girl, it was a no-brainer. You know, I'm spending $10 a day on Taco Bell, and so it was a no-brainer. Now, they often will say, oh, geez, it's too expensive. It's just not in my budget. Well, you know what? The coaching, the education, the support groups, the recipes, that is all free. Can you even believe it? I can't even believe that all of that is free. We literally only pay for our food, and you're already doing that now. Okay. It's not an additional cost to your monthly budget. It's simply switching grocery stores. It's like shopping once a month at Costco, except it's delivered to your door and it's going to put you into fat burn. And you know, when I talk about the Taco Bell and I talk about the wine, and I circle back to what they are spending on food, snacks, coffee, dining out, sometimes people really don't realize how much money they're spending on things like that. I know Sandy didn't. Not to call you out, Sandy, but I know you didn't. You know, and if it still becomes an objection, go back and hit the pain point. How much is it costing you not to do this program? You know, how much is it costing you not to? It was costing me my life. Fuelings. All right, here we go. Well, you know, people are like, oh, well, I don't eat processed or prepackaged food. And truly, if you're not pulling it out of your own garden, everything is processed, everything is prepackaged. That's just how it is. But we don't want to attack them in that way. You know, we don't want to kind of go for the throat. We want to ask questions. And a lot of questions are, you know, well, tell me more about that. What do you mean by that? Help me to understand. Do you mean foods with artificial flavors and preservatives? Because our fuelings don't have those. Our fuelings don't have those. They are, the great thing about fuelings is they're whole foods put together in a clean label. Let me just make that a little smaller. The great thing about our fuelings is they're whole foods put together that are clean label. And really, we want to take the focus off of food. And the fuelings do just that. They take the focus off of food, and in the process, they're teaching you how to make better choices. And whatever they've talked about earlier in their health assessment, if food is a big issue, you know, I have all of these addictive food behaviors. The fuelings are merely a tool to get you where you want to go. Okay. And it isn't just what you eat that matters. It's how you eat it. You could eat salads all day and you're not going to get to your goal. Okay. More importantly, this program is not about the fuelings. They're merely one tool to help you reach those goals. Is this helpful so far? Maybe shake your head. Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. I'm going to keep going. Wait. I'm stuck. Let me go over here. Hold on. Click. Okay. Now, number 3, support. Well, what if my family isn't on board? What about my husband? I don't think my husband's going to want me to do this. What if there's a barbecue? What if I go to the lake on the weekend? What if I go on vacation? Now, we were on a training this morning, and I want to tell you, this quote is exactly from Jamil's mouth. This is what he tells people. Lack of support in your life ends now. Every Monday night at 5 p.m., you will be on a Habits of Health educational call. And in my smaller coaching group, we have a weekly online support group on Tuesdays. So I added this. So every Monday night at 5 p.m., you will be on our weekly Habits of Health educational call and in our weekly online support group. In addition, you have the community in our private Facebook group and an unwavering commitment from me. So even if you are surrounded by naysayers, you are fully supported in your new community. And truly, what would it mean for you to model this, to model these healthy habits to your spouse, to your children, to your friends, this new way of living by incorporating these healthy habits? Now, I was on a celebration call, I believe it was last week, with a woman who had been on the program for maybe 8 days, and her daughter was starting to incorporate her new habits already. So when we come up against some of these obstacles, share stories. Share stories of victories of some of your clients. Share stories of victories of some of your coaches. Really bring it home, the impact that this program is going to make on people. Well, I'm not able to click it that way anymore, so we're going to go there. Okay, time. Oh my God, but all of that, I just don't have time for it. Hope I'm not being too dramatic. I just don't have time. Well, tell me more about that. And if you're ever on a health assessment and you come up with an objection or a smokescreen, this is my go-to line. If you need 5 minutes to think about what you're gonna, if you need 5 minutes, tell me more about that and listen and write down, and and you're able to kind of come up with your thoughts and really listen, because they are going to have reasons. We always like to ask, well, how does it make you feel that you don't have time to focus on your own health? Well, it makes me feel like shit, Molly. Okay. Well, what would it mean for you to learn how to better manage your life? Sorry, Annika. I'm not allowed to cuss on the huddle. Well, you know what? What if there's a way we can figure out how to change that for you? How powerful would that be to make time to care for yourself? And this last one, this is a line I use quite often for people who are a little skittish. And this line came directly from Rachel Richards. She always tells her clients, I set the plan and you set the pace. Okay, we're going to do this at your pace. I'm not going to assign you any homework. We're just going to go at your pace, slow and steady. Okay, other programs. Well, how does this compare to Nutrisystem? How does this compare to Weight Watchers? How does this compare to da? So I tell my honest experience, and my honest experience is I haven't experienced any of those other programs. So I really can't answer that question. And if I have no experience with other programs, I share the experience of a client or another coach. And by that, I mean, I have a client who had gastric bypass. She tried everything. She ended up having gastric bypass. She had a lot of complications, gained all the weight back, and now she's doing our program. And she's down 35 pounds. And she's learned the habits to sustain this for a lifetime. Okay, so bring in the stories of other people that relate to programs they may have tried. Okay. I always like to tell them that Optavia is the second fastest growing company in the world, which is amazing. And we really use the 4 components. What makes Optavia so different is we use the 4 components, and each component holds an equal amount of weight in your success. It's not just about the coach. It's not just about the education. It's not just about the community. It's not just about the fuelings. It's about all of it incorporated together to give you that full support, right? Okay. And what truly makes Optavia above and beyond literally any other program out there is that we use the cognitive behavior approach to change those destructive habits that we talked about in the health assessment into lifelong, sustainable, healthy behaviors. Is this fast? What time is it? Oh, I just raced right through this. Okay. So guys, now health assessment, I really want you, sorry, I need to, tissue. We really want to advocate for these people. They don't know what they don't know. They didn't sit 20 to 30 minutes to listen to an infomercial. They come into this bearing their soul and bearing their pain. And we know what's on the other side of that pain. So fight for them. Really, really fight for them. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to go to questions. Any questions? Chat. If you have a question, you can raise your hand. If you have a suggestion, also you can raise your hand. Or we can wrap it up and we can all go to bed early because we have to be up at 6 to be on the October Madness. So if we want to take a vote. Thanks, Sandy. Well, okay, you guys, this was wonderful. Thank you for allowing. Oh, Kendra has a question. Okay. I'm going to allow you to unmute, Kendra.
All right.
Okay.
I don't have a question, but I did find something that kind of helps on the cost. I broke it down to like daily, what it costs them.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't think about like when you give them a big number. And when you say daily, in all actuality, it is 1 drive-through through Taco Bell and a coffee. And if you cut that out, you've paid for your whole day.
Yeah, that's a really good suggestion. Because that's it. I mean, you can wrap your mind around, oh, $14 a day. Shoot, I can do that. That's easy. That's easy. Excellent. Meryl? I'm gonna let you do the unmuting, Annika, if that's all right. All right, go ahead, Meryl.
So Molly, how did you become so good at all these objections? I don't think I could do what you do.
Practice. Overcoming fear. Research. I know that when I do health assessments or when I have done health assessments in the past, I have been afraid, and we all go into them nervous and afraid. What are they going to say? Are they going to come at me? I've let go of the outcome. I've let go of the outcome and how that outcome is going to affect me. I'm more invested in how the outcome is going to affect them. So I'm willing to fight for them. Anyone else? I'm gonna scroll through these. Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's go to bed.
Oh, Sandy has a question.
Sandy has a question?
Yeah.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to say that when I'm doing my health assessments, I'm completely honest with them in regards to the cost and how it was for me. Because when I broke it down, now granted, I live alone. I have nobody else to cook for or shop for other than myself. I have no kids, nothing. And I was spending 2 programs a month on crap.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm saving money.
Well, and people really need to have that mirror held up to their face. You know, the $6 at Giggle Springs on lunchtime, and then, you know, we're gonna stop with the kids for Starbucks, and that's $30. And then, well, you know, we're just gonna drive through McDonald's. It adds up, and there's your program.
Adds up fast.
Yeah. And people know, I mean, they know coming into this phone call that a transaction is going to happen. They know this isn't free. You know, so sometimes we talk about how are we going to close that gap? What are you expecting to pay? What are you willing to invest in yourself? Well, I'm willing to invest 300. Okay, well, let's close that gap. Let's close that. How can we come up with another $50 to close the gap to save your life? And it's pretty easy to do sometimes. You have a yard sale, like that one lady who had 2 yard sales and became a presidential director. So, yeah, gas stations. Am I right, Anita? Whew. Yeah. So, you know, really just awaken the possibilities in people, fight for them, advocate for them, keep sharing your story. Guys, this program is so incredibly powerful and transformative, and we are all testament to that, each and every one of us. So, so thank you for letting me present on Huddle. This was really fun. A little bit scary, but fun.
Krista, you got a question or a
I
comment?
do. At first, Molly, thank you. That's so simple. Like you
Yeah, you're
said,
welcome.
very simple. But I'd like to touch a little bit on what Sandy said in regards to her being single, alone, easy to break down. I get it. I've had quite a lot of resistance with families. I don't want to cook 2 different meals, which I squash that immediately. You know, change the way the kids are thinking and your husband. I tell them my story where Tech lost 18 pounds just by changing to lean and green dinners without even eating a fueling.
Mhm.
But when it comes to cost, sometimes I get a little resistance in, well, but I'll be buying, you know, I still have to buy all the groceries for the house for the other 5 members or whatever that means. So any tips on how you squash that with them, you know, helps them think about that differently. I kind of freeze up when that happens. I get through it. Okay. But any tips that you or anyone else has?
You know,
battling
I would go back to their why. And I would say, what would it mean for your family to have you healthy and to have you functioning and to have you happy and out of pain and able to play with your kids? Circle back to the why.
Yeah.
We can
Great.
give them a list of reasons, but their why is what's going to bring them in.
And I love your tips. The tips are great even when people are, even before a health assessment. Some of the things you brought up tonight are even great before you get them on the phone, when they start giving that, you know, that chatter that they've already got going on. A lot of those responses you gave us tonight even will maybe help us get to the phone with people.
Yeah,
Also.
good.
So yeah,
Good.
thank you. Thank you. Great information.
Good. Annika, did you have a question?
No, that just really hit home with me too, because I remember Jamil asking me that, because I said the same thing when I started. I was like, we can't afford that, Jamil. We have so much money, so many bills right now that's going out, you know. And he goes, what would it mean for you investment wise? What did he say? He goes, can you put a cost on that? Can you put a cost on being healthy, being happy, having fulfillment, having a healthy relationship? What is that worth to you? And when he asked me that way out of love, and he asked me that, he's like, out of love, can I ask you the hard question that sometimes we just don't even ask? And I said, well, yeah. He goes, what's that worth? Can you put a price tag on fulfillment, happiness, health, not having to keep going to the doctor's offices like you're telling me, not having to invest in all of these medications, not having to invest going to, you know, counselors all the time? Can you tell me what that's worth to you? So sometimes it's just asking a question like that right? In a way that challenges the way they think about cost versus investment on some of those things. But Molly's absolutely right. If the why is strong enough, the how won't matter. But that was really great. So thank you for awakening that in me, Krista, because I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I have a client who started 2 weeks ago. She saved up for 4 months so she could start the program. 4 months. That's how important it was. That's how strong her why was. And she's rocking it too, by the way. Of course, we knew she would. She's awesome. So thanks you guys. This was really fun. And yeah, see you at 6 a.m. Okay. Sweet dreams, everyone.